will say is this: the world is going to get worse. And I know a lot of people, pre 2020, we were a lot of people were like, hey, they were depending on everything just going back to normal, because the reality of it is you get used to routines. And if you have to adjust your routine, especially if you suffer with anxiety or anxiousness, or you just don't like change, then the world can be hard on you, because now you have to think of another solution, or now you have to use your brain to actually go back to the times before, maybe before social media, or maybe before we had all of this technology or whatever. It could be very frustrating, and it can seem like your world is falling apart. But I feel as though God is doing these things in the world because he's preparing us for something that's big, something that you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone with. Something, I feel like we have been comfortable for so long, and God is just trying to wake us up. He's trying to wake us up. So, and don't get me wrong, this message is not for everyone. If you're not a believer, whatever you believe in, that's your life, that's your decision. I'm not here to try to persuade you or, move you. I'm talking about those who believe and those who see the world as it is. They're not blindfolded, or they're not living in this fantasy. But reality is, the world is going to get worse, and that is why it's so important for you to build your relationship with God. Those of us who know God and who wants to have a deeper connection with him, or those of us who maybe are on the fence, but we see things happening around us, and now we're curious about God and what he wants us to do. So you desire to get close, but you don't know where to start, or you don't know what to do, because you see all of these different people who claim that they love God. You see these different denominations, and you get so confused, and you say they love God, but look how they live. They love God, but they're no different from me. I'm talking to those people. What I want to tell you is, erase all of the people and what you see them doing. Maybe it's a pastor or a preacher who claims to love God, but after hours he's doing, he's living like everyone else, or he or she, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I'm just speaking from my heart. But erase those people. Or maybe you have had church hurt. I ain't gonna say erase those people, but get your mindset on God, on Jesus. That's what I'm telling you to do. Focus on him, not on everything and what everybody else doing around you. Because the reality is we all are flawed. We all make mistakes. But there's a difference between being comfortable or getting used to God's grace on your life. Yes, does God give us grace? Absolutely. I'm telling you, I wouldn't even be here today if it wasn't for God's grace. I have done things in my life that I know that I didn't even deserve, or I'm not even worthy of God's grace. But somehow he keeps me in the midst of me turning my back on him, in the midst of me being frustrated because I didn't get what I want in the time that I felt that I should be getting it, in the midst of me backsliding, in the midst of everything I have ever done in my life. God grace has always been with me. And it's not just me. I'm no one perfect. I'm no one different from you. It could be with you as well. So I encourage you to build your own relationship with God. Get around people who are genuinely trying to live the way God wants them to live, who are not moved by this world and the latest trend and how much you have and what you can get, or how much you can finesse people. Like, not those type of people. I'm talking about people who really, their heart really desires God, even though they're not perfect, and they're not afraid to confess what they have done, because they know that speaking the words out of their mouth, or you know, talking to other God-fearing people, brothers and sisters in Christ, that it can no longer hold them hostage because they're not hiding it. Get around those people. I'm talking about genuine people. And it's hard in this day of time because, like I said, you see stuff and you just be like, I'm not even about to involve myself with that. That's fake. That ain't real. That person, you know. But it's people who genuinely love God, who really is trying their best, even though they backslide or they make mistakes, but their heart is desire. They want to do bad. They want to do good so badly that, you know, they turn away from their wicked ways. They're not cuddling you. They're not always just motivating you. You can do it. You need to get around people who gonna call you out and say, hey, you're wrong for that. You know that wasn't right. You know, you need to get around people who not just yes men, who not just going to cater to you, but they genuinely love God, and you know that you can trust them because they pray with you. When you're going through a problem, um, they pray for your marriage. They pray for your whatever thing that you're going through, instead of gossiping behind your back or feeling like they're better than you. Get around those people because you're going to need those people from what is coming for us in this time. So, you know, playtime is over, y'all. Playtime is over. You don't got to be perfect. You don't have to have this. You don't have to have that. You don't have to put on a show or act as if you're something that you're not. God knows all and he sees all. So you can be fooling yourself. You could be fooling the people around you, your church members. You could be fooling people at your job. You could be, you know, but at the end of the day, you can't fool God. And you know, and deep down in your heart, that God is calling you. You know that you want to give your life to God, but you're afraid of what you see around you, or the people of who say they of God but they're really not, or you're just, your ego is in a way, or I'm not okay. Listen, I'm about to end the video, but I'm just saying this: what's coming from what our future is going to be, you're going to have to get serious about your walk with God. And so many people have warned us about this over and over and over and over again, but we shove it off. We act like we have time. We act like, you know, what is going around or going on in our world today is not going on. We put on blinders. We ignore it because we don't want to see the truth. We don't want to see what we have to do, because if we are open and honest with ourselves, that means we have work to do, and a lot of us don't want to do the work. So I encourage you to do the work. I encourage you to get around solid people that you can pray with, that they can pray for you and you can pray for each other. I encourage you to build a relationship or community with people, or not just build one, but be a part of communities that are genuinely about God and desire in their heart to do right and not just take God's grace and mercy for granted. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next video.